Hi! Today we're going to make a very fancy letter design. I have a completed one so you can see what yours might look like, something like that at the end. And it looks kind of complicated, but it's really just following some steps and not that hard. It's kind of fun to do these. You might want to try it again. To begin, you need a square of paper, so it has to be 8 inches by 8 inches. It has to be a square. And you can do this in pencil, but if you don't even want to use a pencil, you can start with your black, ultrafine black Sharpie and write the first letter of your first name in the middle of your square, something like that. Now, if it's not exactly in the middle, that doesn't matter. It should be about 2 inches high. I didn't measure, but you can see how big mine is, somewhat in the middle there. And then, if you did do it in pencil, go over it with your black Sharpie and thicken it up a bit so that it's not too fat, but it's kind of a little bit thicker. When you've finished Sharpieing you have the first letter of your first name, I'm Ms. Mary, so Mary starts with M, so I have my M here. What you want to do is draw a tendril. I'm going to draw it here on my instructions so that you can see what a tendril is. It's like something that comes off of a plant. It's a curvy line, and it comes around and it ends in a little ball like that. So it can curve any way you want it to. It doesn't have to be that exact curve shape. It can be any curve shape. So I'm going to go ahead and put some tendrils that curve off of my name in different places. Let's see, I'm going to put one here. Like that. If you want, you can thicken it up a little. I don't want to thicken this too much. And then let's make another one that comes off. It can go the other direction too if you wanted to, like that. So there's 2, and we should do 5 of these tendrils. And so just put them in different places. 3. Let's do one that comes off here. 4. And I want to make that look like it's part of the letter more. And how about this one? 5. Okay, I've done 5 tendrils. Now we're going to do something that I'm going to call an echo. I'm going to leave a little tiny space. I'm going to come as close as I can without touching the tendril. And I'm going to follow along. Now I'm to my letter, so I'm going to just follow along the shape and echo around everything that I just drew. I'm not touching it, but I'm being careful to follow pretty closely around without touching as best I can. And try to leave an even space. I'm trying to leave about 1/8 of an inch. I'm not measuring anything. I'm just trying to come as close as I can. And I'm going to go all the way around that entire shape. Until I get back to where I started from. So this is the kind of drawing which you must do somewhat slowly and carefully, although it's a little bit like doodling. I'm almost there. There, I got back to the beginning. Now, if you wanted to, you could just go ahead and go around a second time around your shape and echo it again. But it doesn't matter how many echoes you make. Eventually you're going to want to put, okay, well, let's echo again. Let's echo one more time around. And then we'll make 5 more tendrils coming out. You can decide how often you want to echo before putting more tendrils. But it's basically just repeating. It's not hard. It just takes some care with your hands. And there's going to be some surprises happening really soon. Right there's one. Look what happened. This is so close together that now I have something in here and here. Those little spaces, I'm going to call them islands because they're kind of right there. Now those are two very small spaces. They're so small that it would be hard to draw anything inside of them. So I'm going to go ahead and fill them in. But if they were any bigger, I would want to leave them, those little islands, and draw something else in them. And I'll show you what I mean by that very soon. Okay, now I've gone around another echo. Okay, I echoed twice. Let's put some more tendrils. Let's make another 5. They can come off in different places. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's make another one here. 5. So, messed up a little. I'll just make it thicker. So now I want to echo around this shape. Now, as you can imagine, what's happening here, I'm going to start right here, is that my shape is growing and changing as I go along. It's no longer the same shape as the letter M that I started with. But I do want to go around a couple times here. I might not get to the finish point with you because I know you'll get bored watching me. And I know you'll get the idea. But I do want to go a little bit further because there's things that start to happen after you've echoed around several times. I'm hoping you're going to be a little more careful than this. Okay, there. Look at that space. It's coming there. Now I have a bigger island there. Big enough to draw something else in. I'm going to save that space for the end. And there might be more of these. In fact, there should be more of these that crop up as you go along. Now your shape will be different than mine because you might have a different letter, and even if you have the same letter, you might have written it different than me. So let's try one more time with the tendrils. I'm going to make some go up this way now. There's a nice curve. Oh, let's make one way up here. Could go that way. You can make them as long or as short as you want to. I'm gonna go this way here. That one ended in a great big ball. Let's make one more over here. I made that one short because I'm getting close to that edge. Okay, let's go around one more time with another echo. I'm going to start there. You can take your time on this. In fact, you should take your time on this. Okay, I've got another island in there. So after this time around, I'll show you what happens with some of these islands. Here's another island. The more times you go around, the more islands will come up. When I say island, I mean that there's a space that's completely surrounded by these echoes. And it's kind of left there hanging. I'm going to get another one now. There it is. Here's another one. So the more times I go around, the more these echoes start to crop up. Wow, careful. I think I'm going to get another one here. Yep, there's another one. I'm almost around again. Okay, I would probably want to keep going and make this a bigger shape to take up more of this space. But now I'm going to pretend that I'm done with it. And I'm going to look at the islands, and I'm just going to put a very simple design. For me, I like to put these little egg shapes in, but you can make any design you want in your islands. So fill in your islands with a pattern. I had a couple islands over here. Oh, here's one more. Okay, so look for all your islands and fill them in with the same pattern. At the end, I would have to go around this several more times, I think, to make this shape bigger. But at the very end, you can add a couple of more tendrils coming out. So if I was at the end, normally if I had more time, I would echo around this some more times. I'm going to try to make these tendrils, I'm going to double up on them, make them stand out a little bit more, make them a little bit fatter by tracing again. And you can put however many you want that makes your shape look nice. So if you need to balance out your shape, putting some tendrils at the end is a way to do it. There's another way too, which I'll talk about soon. Let's put a little tendril here. I think I should have echoed some more. In real life, I would be echoing more if I had more time, because I think my design would look better if I had more echoes on it. But I'm trying to get you to yours. Okay, so if this was my final design, I have a couple of options. For one thing, I have a lot of space down in this corner. That often happens to me for some reason. So I could do something like I did in these, where this one I added my first name and my first initial of my last name. Or in this one, I just made another little tiny design out of the initial of my last name. So there's different ways to do it. And the other thing you can do is make yourself a border. The way we do a border, and I'm doing this by hand, you don't really need a ruler. Is just to come as close as you can to the edge of the paper without touching. Look how sloppy my paper is. What did I lay it on? Something wet. And curve yourself around the corners. Come back. And then do it a second time really closely. You might say, hey, Miss Mary, couldn't I use a ruler to do this? You could, but part of the niceness of it is how it's not perfect and how it's irregular. And that handmade look, I think, can look even nicer sometimes, especially in art, than something that is very perfectly done. After all, it's our imperfections that make us interesting. Okay, and then I would fill in between these two lines with some very, very simple pattern. There's the pattern I used on this one. So you can see a finished version. So at the end, when you have everything drawn with your Sharpie, as much as you want, you maybe have something here, you want to make a fill-in color and a shadow. So pick one color. I'm going to give different colors of paper out, so I'm not sure what color your background will be, but it doesn't matter. I've tried this in purple and blue and all sorts of colors. And what you want to do, here's some other ones. I didn't finish these, but I've started them. I found that on the purple, like a deeper purple is nice, or on the blue, a deeper blue is nice. But you can pick whatever color you think will look nice as your shadow color. And then go ahead and color in all your islands and make your islands stand out in that way. And when you're finished with that, you want to make a shadow. So to make a shadow, I'm using the side of my pencil here a little bit. You can use the point when you're really close. And make a shadow the darkest around your shape. Whatever your shape is. You actually could come all the way around this, for example. And then take the side of your pencil and go lighter, 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 lighter until it disappears. And see if you can carefully, space by space, make it look like it starts with full color and then gets lighter and lighter as it goes out. The effect of this, when you're finished, is something like this. And I think it looks really nice. It makes it really pop off the background when you have that shadow all around it. I also colored in my border, which was just very quick. Just color along inside the border. And if you really like your design, you can send it to me at mernst@ausdk12.org. I would love to see your beautiful design. Once again, here are the steps to making your letter design. And I'll let you look at those. If you forget what to do, you can just focus on this part of the video. And I hope you have fun making your letter design. Remember to draw slowly and carefully and just enjoy the process. Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye.